Hey everybody, it's Julie. Thanks for joining me here today for some Bible journaling. I'm using the Perpetually Enough kit and collection from Creative Retreat Kits for the month of March. There are lots of good Bible verses and places to study that are given here in the devotional, and then good reflection questions. I'm focusing here on chapter 9 of Hebrews. So I'm going to be journaling here, especially verse 28. So it says, "So Christ, having been offered once," and that once means once for all, "to bear the sins of many, will appear a second time." That's the second coming. That's what we're longing for. That's what we're waiting for. Not to deal with sin, but to save those who are eagerly waiting for him. I love this part here, not to deal with sin, because he has already dealt with sin. The sin has already been paid for. He's already taken care of it. So he's not coming to take care of sin. He's coming to save us, to rescue us. He will destroy sin, but the sin has already been paid for. So I'm going to be using elements from the kit, from the physical kit, the stamp set, the sticker sheet. I might use, yes, I know I will, I'll be using some of the Faith-Filled Digitals, particularly this lovely border and some of the labels and just different things like that. I'm also going to use the Victory stamp sets, the alphas, and then the symbols, because I want to journal that Greek word that means once for all. So I'm going to be doing a lot of different things. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to begin by stamping this lamb, this cute little guy. He's so sweet, from the stamp set. I'm in my interleaved Bible, so I have a full page to work on. There's a blank page between every page of text, and I'm stamping with my Versafine Onyx black ink. I have not prepped my page with gesso. I'm just going straight onto my page. Now, what you didn't see is I actually stamped that image off onto some white paper so that I could cut it out and make a mask. My thought here is I'm going to do some stenciling behind this lamb image. So you stamp it first, put a mask over it, and then you could stamp or stencil over that, and it doesn't interact with the actual image that I've already stamped. I used one of the clear stickers, that pretty tulip, and used that to frame my verse. And I'm taking a pink color pencil, it's a watercolor pencil, and I'm highlighting the verses. I also used some Zig 2-way glue pen on the back of that masking, the back of that masked lamb, because that makes a temporary adhesive. So I put that on there and then let it sit for a bit. I've also done the same thing on this stencil, but I did it a couple days ago, and it's still good for that. That helps these pieces not to move around when I'm manipulating them. So I used the cotton candy and then some pomegranate for the flowers, for the actual bulbs. And then I'm coming in with, this is cocktail olive, and I'm going to add a little bit of the grasshopper as well. I'm using some blending brushes to get that ink in there. And I know that the scale is off here. The flowers are gigantic compared to the lamb, but I wanted that, it just worked for me and what I was doing here. Life comes from the lamb. Life comes from the sacrificial lamb. So that's why I put these flowers behind the lamb, even though it looks like it's a little miniature lamb in a flower garden, but it works. I know what I'm doing here. I know my thoughts. Okay, so I come in now with a little bit of colored pencil, and I'm adding some shading there. The stamp actually adds the lines where I should shade. I'm using the Maple Cream stamp set, Maple Cream ink pad, and I am smushing it onto some clear packaging so I could pick up that ink with my aqua brush. And I'm using that as kind of a paint. And then I'm going to come in and blend that in a little bit more. I'll add a little bit of pink to it. This is cotton candy. Just a touch of pink. I'll come back and blend this a little bit more. I don't want this guy to seem too pink, but I do want him to have some dimension. Now I pick up that pink and I add some color to the flowers. And now I'm blending that again. Going to pick up some more of this maple cream ink. And yes, you saw me pick it up directly from the ink pad. Now some of the cocktail olive, I'm going to add some shading down in the grass and to what I've already stenciled. And it just adds a little bit of depth and dimension to those colors. The perfect sacrificial lamb, it was without blemish. It was perfect in every way. And this little lamb here is just so sweet and precious. And as we contemplate Easter coming and just what that means, I love this little lamb and what it reminds me of. So I'm coming in now with a blue watercolor pencil and I'm outlining, just going around the edges of my images that I already have here. Then I'm going to take that blending brush, that aqua brush, and pick up some of the ink directly from the pencil and use that to watercolor all around. I did dry that once it was finished. Then I'm going to take this strip from the bottom and put it on the bottom. I've printed it on clear sticker sheet. And as I'm laying it down, I realize it doesn't stand out enough. So then I had also printed these images onto cardstock. So I just cut that out and I'm going to lay that over it. So I have a couple of layers for my flower patch, my little meadow here. My little flower garden that my lamb is visiting today. I adhere that down. And I like having both of these here. I think it adds some more depth to that flower garden. I did take my blending brush that had the green ink on it already, and I just went over the edges because that white would stand out. But it blends in better if I took that brush over it and blended in the white. Gave it some green. Now, I always have to have some black splatter, especially on a big page like this. So I pick up some black watercolor with a wet paintbrush and just splatter that down. I did dry that. And I felt like with all this black that I needed some outlines on my stenciled images. So I put that stencil back down and I grab a very fine pen and I'm going to add some outlines to these images that I've stenciled. And I like how it turns out. Because the stamp, the lamb is kind of sketchy in a good way, not bad sketchy. It's a sketched image. I felt like this also, the flowers needed that sketched image. So I actually go over it a second time, kind of again with that sketched free feel, just kind of loosely. And you'll see in the close-ups how I was not precise. I wanted a little bit of it to be offset a little bit, and I felt like that really helped to make that stand out. Now, I'm using the Victory Alpha and Symbol set, and I stamped out the word hapax. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it correctly, but that is the Greek word. That's the transliteration of the Greek word for once, the word that's used here. And then I stamped the word lamb down by the lamb, and I'm going to use my alpha stickers from this kit, the light pink ones, and I'm going to place the word sacrificial above it. So it's going to say sacrificial lamb, and then I also stamped he is enough on that label. You saw me using my quick stick. It's a new tool that I have, and I'm loving it. It works great for these small alphas, small elements. And then I put Jesus Christ. So it says Jesus Christ, sacrificial lamb, he is enough. Now I'm going to cut out a tab from the back of the devotional because it's just such a pretty light pink with polka dots. And then this is a piece from the Faith-Filled Digitals, and it says Once for All. So this passage, it's talking about how Jesus didn't need to continue the sacrifice like the priests did. They had to sacrifice daily, morning and night. Jesus only had to do it one time, and that was good enough. That was enough to satisfy the requirements of sin. And because of that, we are cleansed, and we can wait. We can eagerly await his return, knowing that when he comes, he won't have to deal with that sin. He's already dealt with it. He's already paid for it. It was a sacrifice that was once and done, but it was good for all. So I'm making a cluster up top with some of these elements from the digitals, and then this sticker that says Lamb of God. Add some wonky hearts to just fill in some spaces, bring it all together. I get that pink and the green all around. I love this color combination. And then I put the piece there underneath that says Once for All. Add a green wonky heart. And now I'm going to take this alphabet sticker set is from the Worry to Worship set from last year, and the green matches so well. So I will link that, and again you can see how great this quick stick works to pick up the small pieces. It has the back end that can poke out the middles, and this kind of a spatula end that helps to pick them up. I did some journaling off screen, and now I'm using my pink color pencil to highlight my letters, the words that I stamped. I did come in with my black pen when I was doing my journaling, and I outlined a lot of my elements to make them stand out, and there is my page. If you have any questions or comments, then leave them in the comment section. Check out the links of all the products that I have used. Make sure to check out the videos of all the other gals on the team using this collection. And give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And until next time, God bless. Bye-bye.